A big question. Dinosaurs were amazing animals. They lived a very long time ago. We know they were big. We know some ate plants. We know some ate meat. But here is a big question. Did dinosaurs have feelings? Could a big Tyrannosaurus Rex feel angry? Could a long-necked Brachiosaurus feel happy? These are hard questions to answer. Feelings are soft things. They do not turn into fossils like bones do. So how can we even start to guess what a dinosaur might have felt deep inside its giant body all those millions of years ago? It is a real puzzle for scientists like me. We see animals today. We see dogs wag their tails when they are happy. We see cats purr when they are content. Birds sing songs. Elephants seem to mourn their dead. These are all animals that are alive now. We can watch them. We can study how they act with each other. We can see how they react to things around them. This gives us clues about their inner lives. But dinosaurs are gone. They are not here for us to watch. So we must be like detectives. We must look for tiny clues left behind in the ancient earth. Thinking about dinosaur emotions is very exciting. It makes us think about what it was like to be a dinosaur. Imagine a world full of these giant creatures. Some were as big as a bus. Others were as small as a chicken. Did they just eat, sleep, and walk around all day long? Or did they have more complex lives? Did they form bonds with each other? Did they get scared when danger was near? Did they feel protective of their babies? These are the kinds of things we wonder about. It helps us see them not just as monsters, but as real, living animals. This journey into dinosaur feelings is important. It helps us understand these amazing animals better. It also helps us understand how feelings might have started in animals. Maybe feelings are very old. Maybe they started a long, long time ago, even before humans. We will look at the evidence. We will see what scientists think. It is a big mystery. But every new fossil, every new idea brings us a little bit closer to understanding the lost world of the dinosaurs and maybe, just maybe, what they truly felt inside their hearts and minds. How do we learn about dinosaurs? Mostly we learn from fossils. Fossils are the remains of ancient life. They can be bones, they can be teeth, they can even be footprints. These fossils are like puzzle pieces. Scientists called paleontologists dig them up from the ground, then they carefully clean them and study them. Each bone can tell us a story. It can tell us how big a dinosaur was. It can tell us how it moved. It can even tell us what it ate. These are the first clues we have to understand their lives. Fossil bones can show us amazing things. Sometimes we find bones with bite marks. This tells us that one dinosaur fought another, or maybe one dinosaur was eaten by another. This suggests they had to deal with danger. They had to protect themselves. We also find bones that are healed. This means a dinosaur got hurt, but then it got better. Maybe this means they could rest and recover. Think about when you get hurt. You feel pain. You need to rest. Maybe dinosaurs did too. These healed injuries are fascinating clues for us. Footprints are another amazing type of fossil. They are called trackways. These are like snapshots of dinosaurs walking. We can see if a dinosaur was walking or running. We can see if it was alone or in a group. If we find many footprints together, it might mean dinosaurs moved in herds. This tells us they were social animals. Social animals often have ways to communicate. They often have feelings about each other, so footprints can give us hints about how dinosaurs lived together and perhaps how they felt about their companions. New technology also helps us study dinosaurs. We can use CT scanners. These are like the scanners in hospitals. They let us look inside fossils without breaking them. We can see the inside of a dinosaur skull. We can see the shape of its brain cavity. This can tell us about its senses. Did it have good eyesight? Did it have a good sense of smell? We can also look at the tiny structure of bones. This can tell us how fast a dinosaur grew. All these little details help us build a picture of dinosaur life and maybe their feelings. To understand dinosaurs, we can look at animals alive today. Dinosaurs have living relatives. Can you guess who they are? Birds are one group. Yes, that small robin in your garden is a distant cousin of the mighty T-Rex. This is a very exciting discovery. Scientists now know that birds are actually living dinosaurs. So, by studying birds, we might learn something about how their ancient dinosaur ancestors behaved. Birds have very complex behaviors and show many different kinds of emotions. Birds do many things that seem emotional. They sing beautiful songs to attract a mate. They build careful nests to protect their eggs. Many birds are very good parents. They feed their young. They protect them from danger. Some birds, like parrots and crows, are very smart. They can solve problems. They can even seem to play. If birds, which are dinosaurs, can do all these things, maybe ancient dinosaurs could too. It's an important link. We see these behaviors in birds, and it makes us wonder if these traits were also present in their non-bird dinosaur relatives. Another group of living relatives is crocodiles and alligators. These reptiles are also related to dinosaurs. They're not as closely related as birds are, but they still share a common ancestor way back in time. Crocodiles also show some interesting behaviors. Mother crocodiles build nests. They guard their eggs very carefully. When the babies hatch, the mother crocodile gently carries them in her mouth to the water. She protects them. This shows a strong, caring behavior. This type of care might have been present in some dinosaurs as well. So, by looking at birds and crocodiles, we get ideas. We see that these living relatives can show care, they can show social behavior, they can communicate. This does not prove that all dinosaurs had feelings, but it makes it possible. It gives us a starting point. If their living cousins show these complex behaviors, it is not a wild idea to think that some dinosaurs might have had similar abilities. It helps us imagine dinosaurs as more than just scaly monsters. They were animals with lives and perhaps even with some kind of inner world we are just beginning to explore. Many dinosaurs seem to have lived in groups. How do we know this? We find large groups of dinosaur footprints together. These are called trackways. Sometimes these trackways show many dinosaurs moving in the same direction. This suggests they were traveling as a herd. Think about animals today, like elephants or wildebeest. They travel in herds for safety. It is harder for a predator to attack a big group. Maybe dinosaurs did the same thing. Living in a group often means animals need to get along with each other. We also find bone beds. These are places where many dinosaur skeletons are found together. Sometimes it looks like a whole group died at the same time. Maybe it was a flood or a drought. These bone beds can tell us that these dinosaurs were living together. If they lived together, they probably had ways to communicate. They might have had leaders. They might have had some kind of social rules. Living socially often involves understanding others in the group. This is a step towards more complex interactions, which might involve basic emotions. Some types of dinosaurs, like the duck-billed hadrosaurs, are often found in these big groups. Their fossils suggest they were very social. Maybe they had friends. Maybe they had families within the herd. It is hard to know for sure from just bones, but when animals live in groups, they usually have some way of understanding each other. They might feel stress if they are alone. They might feel safer when they are with others. These are simple feelings, but they are still feelings. The evidence for herding is quite strong for many dinosaur species. Of course, not all dinosaurs lived in groups. Some, like many big meat-eaters, might have been more solitary. They might have lived alone or in small family groups, but even solitary animals can have feelings. They can feel hunger, they can feel fear, they can feel aggression. So, whether they lived in big herds or on their own, it does not mean they had no feelings. The way they lived their lives, either together or apart, would have shaped the kinds of interactions and perhaps the emotional experiences they had in their ancient world. Section 5. Dinosaur parents caring for their young. Did dinosaurs care for their babies? This is a very interesting question. If they did, it might mean they had feelings like love or protectiveness. For a long time, people thought dinosaurs just laid their eggs and left, like many lizards and turtles do today. These animals do not usually stay to look after their young, but new discoveries have changed this idea for some dinosaurs. We have found fossils that show dinosaurs were sometimes very good parents, which is truly fascinating to consider when we think about their lives. One amazing discovery was of a dinosaur called Maiasaura. Maiasaura means good mother lizard. Scientists found Maiasaura nests. These nests were close together, like a nesting colony. They found eggshells. They also found tiny baby dinosaur bones in the nests. The bones showed that the babies stayed in the nest for some time after they hatched. Their legs were not strong enough to walk right away. This means the parents must have brought them food. This is strong evidence of parental care, a behavior we often associate with strong emotional bonds. Other fossils also suggest parental care. We have found adult dinosaurs fossilized on top of their nests. It looks like they were protecting their eggs, maybe from a sandstorm or a predator. One famous fossil is of an oviraptor. For a long time, scientists thought oviraptor stole eggs because it was found near a nest. But now we know the eggs belonged to the oviraptor itself. It was a caring parent, not a thief. This changed our whole view of this dinosaur. It was likely trying to keep its eggs warm and safe. This idea of caring dinosaur parents is very powerful. If a mother dinosaur spent time and energy feeding and protecting her young, it suggests a bond. It suggests an investment in her babies. This kind of behavior in birds today is linked to strong feelings. So, if dinosaurs like Maiasaura and Oviraptor were caring parents, it is possible they also had some kind of parental emotions. Maybe they felt worried for their babies. Maybe they felt a drive to keep them safe. This is a beautiful image of dinosaur life. Section 6. Thinking caps. What dinosaur brains tell us. What was inside a dinosaur's head? We can learn a little about their brains by looking at their skulls. The brain itself does not become a fossil. It is too soft, but the skull has a space where the brain used to be. This space is called the brain case. Scientists can make a model of the inside of the brain case. This model is called an endocast. It shows us the shape and size of the dinosaur's brain. It's like seeing a map of their command center, the place where their thoughts and senses were processed. From these endocasts, we can see which parts of the brain were big. For example, many meat-eating dinosaurs, like the T-Rex, had large olfactory bulbs. This is the part of the brain used for smelling. So, T-Rex probably had a very good sense of smell. This would help it find food. Some other dinosaurs had big optic lobes, the part for seeing. This means they might have had good eyesight. Knowing about their senses helps us understand how they experienced their world. A world experienced through strong smells or sharp sight might lead to different reactions. The size of the brain compared to the body size is also interesting. Some dinosaurs had very small brains for their huge bodies. For example, the giant long-necked sauropods had relatively small brains. Does this mean they were not smart? Not necessarily. Brain size is not everything. But other dinosaurs, especially some small bird-like meat-eaters called troodontids, had quite large brains for their body size. Their brains were similar in proportion to modern birds, which are known for their intelligence. This suggests some dinosaurs could have been quite clever. A bigger, more complex brain might mean a dinosaur could have more complex behaviors. It might mean they could learn more easily. It might mean they could have more complex social lives. And maybe, just maybe, it might mean they had a greater capacity for something like emotions. We cannot say for sure. But a brain that can process a lot of information from senses and maybe learn and remember is a brain that could potentially support some form of emotional experience. It is another piece of the puzzle we are trying to put together. Section 7. Happy or sad, signs of dinosaur emotions. Can we find direct proof that a dinosaur felt happy or sad? This is very, very difficult. Happiness and sadness are internal feelings. They do not leave fossils in the same way bones do. We cannot ask a dinosaur how it felt, so we have to look for indirect clues in their behavior. For example, if animals play, it often means they are feeling safe and perhaps happy. Did dinosaurs play? Some scientists think it is possible, especially for younger dinosaurs. Playing helps young animals learn skills, and it often looks like a joyful activity. What about fear? Fear is an important emotion for survival. It helps animals avoid danger. We can see signs that dinosaurs faced danger. We find bones with healed injuries from attacks. We see trackways where a small dinosaur was clearly running away from a larger one. It is very likely that dinosaurs felt something like fear when they were threatened. This fear would make them run or fight back. This is a basic emotion that many animals share. It is a survival instinct, and it is hard to imagine dinosaurs not having this basic response. Pain is another feeling that is hard to prove, but likely existed. If a dinosaur broke its leg, it would have hurt. We see healed bones in fossils. This means the dinosaur survived the injury. But the injury probably caused pain. Pain is a signal that something is wrong with the body. Most animals can feel pain. It helps them learn to avoid things that hurt them, so it is reasonable to think that dinosaurs also felt pain. They would have tried to avoid it just like animals today do, protecting themselves from harm. What about more complex emotions like love or grief? These are even harder to find evidence for. The parental care we see in Maiasaura might suggest a form of love or strong attachment. When elephants see the bones of a dead elephant, they sometimes touch them gently. It looks like grief. Did dinosaurs do anything like this? We do not know. We have no direct evidence, but the possibility is there. Especially if they had strong social bonds and family groups. It remains a fascinating area for speculation and future research to explore. Section 8. The big debate. Can we ever really know? There is a big debate among scientists. Did dinosaurs really have emotions like we understand them? Some scientists are very careful. They say we can only know what the fossils directly tell us. Fossils tell us about bones, teeth and movement. They tell us about diet and maybe some behaviors like nesting. But feelings are inside the mind. Since we cannot see inside a dinosaur's mind, these scientists say we cannot be sure about their emotions. They argue that we might be putting our own human feelings onto dinosaurs. It is true that we must be careful. We do not want to imagine things that are not supported by evidence. It is easy to see a T-Rex and think it looks angry because of its big teeth, but that is just its face. It does not mean it was always angry. We look at a mother Maiasaura with her nest and think she must have loved her babies. This is a natural human reaction, but as scientists we need to separate what we feel from what the evidence shows. The evidence shows care. But love is a very specific human word. Other scientists think we can make good guesses. They look at birds, the living dinosaurs. Birds clearly show complex behaviors that look like emotions. They show fear, anger, joy, and affection. If birds have these, maybe their ancient dinosaur ancestors did too. They also look at the brain structures. Some dinosaurs had brains that were quite developed in areas that, in modern animals, are linked to emotion and social behavior. This suggests the capacity for some emotional experience might have been present in these ancient creatures. So, the debate continues. We do not have a time machine. We cannot go back and watch dinosaurs to see how they felt. We only have the clues they left behind. These clues are like pieces of a giant puzzle. We are slowly putting them together. Maybe we will never know for sure exactly what a dinosaur felt, but it is exciting to think about. It makes us look at fossils in new ways. It makes us ask new questions. And that is what science is all about, asking questions and searching for answers. Section 9, the adventure continues, uncovering dinosaur feelings. So did dinosaurs have feelings? We have looked at many clues. We have seen that some dinosaurs lived in groups. This means they probably had ways to interact with each other. We have seen that some dinosaurs were caring parents. They built nests and fed their young. This suggests strong bonds. We have also looked at their living relatives, birds and crocodiles. These animals show behaviors that look like emotions. These are all important pieces of information that help us think about this big question. The evidence suggests that at least some dinosaurs likely had basic emotions. Feelings like fear would have been important for survival. Pain would have helped them avoid injury. Maybe they felt a type of stress or comfort depending on the situation. For example, a lone herbivore might feel stressed, while being in a large herd might provide a sense of safety. These are perhaps not the complex emotions humans experience, but they are still a form of inner life, a responsive state to the world around them. These basic responses are common in many animals. However, proving more complex emotions like love, joy, or sadness in dinosaurs is very challenging. These feelings are deep and personal. They do not fossilize. While the parental care of Maiasaura is touching, we cannot be certain it felt love in the human sense. But the possibility remains, and it is what makes studying dinosaurs so fascinating. Each new discovery, whether it is a new fossil or a new way of looking at old fossils, can give us another tiny clue about their lives and their inner worlds. The mystery of dinosaur emotions is far from solved. It is an exciting area of science. Paleontologists around the world are still digging, they are still studying, they are still learning. Perhaps one day we will find even more amazing fossils, perhaps new technologies will give us new insights. What we know for sure is that dinosaurs were incredible animals. They ruled the earth for a very long time, and thinking about their feelings helps us connect with them, and with the amazing story of life on our planet. The adventure of discovery continues every single day.